Hi, I'm here with Jan Tessier, and I'm excited to share Jan's story with you. Jan is a recent graduate of the Resilient Transformation Academy, and Jan is a mother of two darling young girls, a wife, and a preschool teacher. And so, Jan, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you
So
for letting me do this.
Oh, well, I'm so happy that you get to share your experience because you had such an incredible transformation during our time together. And I always like to start off just by sharing with the people that may be listening right now of what were some of the challenges that you were facing before you enrolled in this Transformation Academy?
Um, Anxiety. And I'm a teacher, so I understand children. I know children, but if I was left alone with my daughters, I had this inexplicable just anxiety over not knowing what to do. I won't know what to do. Irrational. It made no sense. I would hide in the bathroom. And I know a lot of moms do, but it was beyond that. It was just fear of of being a mom. And it was something I dreamed about for years. And here I was, and I wasn't enjoying it. And I was terrified all the time. A lot of anger came with that. So I was terrified and yelling a lot.
And Jen, how old are your kids?
They are one just turned 8, so they are now 8 and 9.
Okay. So your motivation for doing the program was really to be a better mom and to get past this fear and this overwhelm.
Yes, definitely.
Anything else that motivated you to do this?
Yes, I actually have a couple of friends who had their lives radically changed through the program. And I had reached my 50s, and every decade I try to do something really good for my mental health. And so it was on my mind. But when we had the snowstorm happen in February this year, and I was terrified, and not of the snowstorm, but being with my children that long, I thought, I can't live this way, because we were about to become a full-time RV family where I was alone with my children every day. I knew I couldn't live that way.
And for those that are listening, Jan and I are in Texas, and so snow in Texas is not a common theme. So we were locked in our homes for several days with ice and snow. And so if you're wondering if we're in the Northeast, we're not. We're in Texas. It's very unusual. So lots of motivations to really do this, and seeing that your friends who had gone through this program really shifted their lives. Jan, what had you tried in the past to really help you as a mom, or to get past that fear and that anxiety?
A lot of it, I am in recovery, a couple of recovery groups. And so I've done 12-step programs, which have radically changed my life. But the core of this anxiety with my girls and the core of my anger, that was still there. And I've been in recovery for almost 20 years. So I have a lot of recovery under my belt. And I've done counseling. I've read a million self-help books, parenting books. And I didn't become a mom till I was 41. So I also just have a lot of life experience, none of which really helped me. I still had this core of anxiety and anger.
So that was the main reason, the anxiety and the anger, being a better mom. So what was different about what you learned with working with this program than other programs that you had worked with?
Language, first of all. And I'm an English language arts teacher as well. Love language, but and the subconscious mind and how powerful it is, and how for my entire life I've been feeding it negativity. I've been feeding it lots of I can'ts. It will never happen for me. It's too hard, and how damaging that is to your heart, to your soul, to your life, and and um, and also breathing, learning to breathe and balance my parasympathetic and my sympathetic, balancing. So I wasn't in fight or flight all the time. I spent a lot of time in fight or flight.
Yeah, a lot of people, when they're angry or have anxiety, this is what we talk about, is what happens to the nervous system. And that's moving into fight or flight. And then our language supports that fight or flight. And so, Jen, when we started working together, was there anything that we asked you to do that maybe you're like, oh, I'm a little bit skeptical about this, I'm not quite sure? Any skeptical things that you tried at the beginning of the program?
Definitely. I will say, when I watched the information specifically on praying and water and how it makes different crystals, I thought that was crazy. and the breathing, I thought, sure, breathing is good. It's good for everybody. I help my girls to breathe, but I didn't think it would be so transformational. And this was just kind of a side effect, but I have a couple of autoimmune diseases, and specifically with my stomach, sometimes my stomach doesn't digest, and it has helped to that dramatically. And I'm a type 1 diabetic, and it has helped the breathing, and being in coherence has helped my blood sugars level. And that's just an on the side benefit that I wasn't looking for.
So that's not even why you entered the program. And I do remember the time that you actually posted inside of our social media group that we have with the community, how your insulin levels had dropped drastically as you began to do the practice.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this happened really early on into the program. I think it happened like within the first month that you were doing the program, you started to see all these side benefits from other than why you actually joined.
Right.
And
it is powerful.
so how long did you practice each day? People might be wondering, well, gosh, did she practice all day long? What did she do? Like how much time did you put into it?
30 minutes a day. And I almost always broke mine up. Either 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at lunch, 10 minutes at bedtime, or 15 in the morning and 15 at night. I may have gone a little over 30 minutes every now and again, but for the most part, it was 30 minutes a day.
So just 30 minutes a day, dropped your insulin levels. Let's talk about what happened with your anxiety and anger, how that shifted, and how that shifted in your life as a teacher, in your life as a wife, and as a mom.
Well, one of the things that shifted dramatically, and Julie, you taught me these words that just when you wake up in the morning and you just feel off, to just say it's okay to feel this way, not to fight it. So just that alone has changed how I feel about my emotions and how I let my girls have their emotions, and let them know that it's okay to feel what we're feeling. And my anxiety levels now, when I start to feel it, I breathe, and I start, because I've built in a lot of green light language. I've built in to my subconscious, I know what to do. I can handle this. Everything I need is inside me. And so I feel calm in the face of not knowing what to do, because it happens to all of us. I feel calm when my daughter is having the temper tantrum. I I feel calm. I'm not triggered, and it helps me to help my girls to move through emotions, to move and to accept it's okay to have these emotions. Let's breathe.
Yeah.
Let's move through it. And
Really powerful, Jan. I mean, just
yes.
especially when you have young kids that are your age
Mhm.
and or that are the ages of your children. When we think about how many times we get triggered as a parent, and then we want to say, I don't want to be this way, or this isn't right, or I'm a bad parent, and how that can really make things worse. So just, I love what you shared about it's just okay. It's okay to feel this way. I am feeling this way right now. And if I give myself permission, then we're not fighting against what we feel in that moment. Oftentimes just
Right.
giving ourselves permission, we can calm down. And then you are just using the tools that you learned inside the academy to do what you had talked about earlier. You moved out of fight or flight to get into what we call a state of coherence, or some people might know this as a flow state. And so when you said that you're calm in the face of the kids arguing or the kids acting out, can you imagine as a parent being calm in the middle of your kids acting out? And what, I mean, what impact has this had on your children? What have they noticed the difference in your parenting?
Yes, definitely. Because it's been several months now, and of course we've been on the road. We traveled June through September, and so there were lots of opportunities for tense moments, and we were able to move through them. Um, I think my children feel now that before I needed them to not be upset, because when they were upset, I was upset. So it has freed us all. We all get to have our feelings. We all get to have our emotions and move to a healthier place. So I think they're just, I hate to say this, I think they feel safer
Mm.
with me. I think they feel safer to feel what they feel.
Yeah, it's really beautiful is, children, especially at that age, feeling safe, knowing that my mom can be calm. Or I remember a couple times that we talked and you would feel the anxiety come up or the anger come up. You would now have the tools to say, I'm just going to go over here and get myself coherent and get into that flow state. And it's almost like you're giving yourself that grace or that permission to move away from something for just a moment at a time, get yourself centered, and then come back in and really be there for them. And the key is, and so many times, whether it's kids or spouses or coworkers, where if they're in anxiety or they're angry, that we pick up on that. And you having that ability to say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be able to, it's a term that we call shift and replace. You're shifting and replacing sometimes in the moment, sometimes actually leaving and then coming back in, helps you to stay calm, which will help them to stay calm.
Right.
Yeah. One thing too, I remember you said, I choose to have healthy boundaries around my girls and be
Yeah.
able to hold those. Can you share a little bit more about your healthy boundaries?
Yes. I will say I lived a lot of times at the mercy of my girls. I just wanted to make them happy. I wanted them to be happy mainly so I could have some peace. So I've realized that I matter, and I take the time now to figure out what is it that I want from this day, and I guard it and protect it and explain to them what I need. So I'm not at the mercy of these sweet little girls. Mom, let's do this. Mom, let's do that. Mom, let's. And I was exhausted. I was exhausted because I never took the time for me to read if I wanted to read, or talk to a friend if I wanted to talk to a friend. So I'd just say, okay, mom is going to go in here and I'm going to set the timer for 20 minutes. And that is for me. Do not come get me, which I never would have done before.
Wow.
Or if I had tried something like that and they came in, I would have just stopped what I was doing and gone to take care of them.
It's really beautiful, setting those healthy boundaries and giving yourself what you need. It's kind of like if you're on a plane, right? They say put the oxygen mask over you before you put it over your child. Because if we take care of ourselves and we're healthy and we're calm, we can be a better mom for our children, or we can be a better spouse, or we can be a better teacher or a better leader. So just by giving yourself these breaks or these healthy boundaries, it makes you become better at whatever it is you're choosing to be better.
Right. And I think as a mom, I think I was always a good mom. I do think I was always a good mom, but I was never as good to myself as I was to my girls and my husband. And that has changed. And I think we're all winning because of that. Really, really, for the first time, I'm 50 again, but for the first time, I really believe and I really embrace that I matter. And I need to take care of me the same way I take care of them.
So incredible. You know, one of the other things that we talked about when you came on board is you desired to move from having to perform. Like,
Yes.
I have to do certain things to get things done so that my girls will be happy or my husband will be happy. And you really had a desire to just be. And in that being, one of the things that we talked about is you had this anger running underneath the surface. So your being wasn't calm, it was anger and anxiety. So, can you talk a little bit about how you move from having to perform and how you move from that to just being?
That was a process. It's several things. One, of course, is being in coherence. And while in that, I have done affirmations, and affirmations are transformational. They've been transformational for me, in which I tell my subconscious the things that are true, such as that I matter. And that's the main one, just I matter. And that one idea is so transformational that I feel it. I don't need to do anything for my family to feel like I matter. I needed to make them happy to know, okay, I matter because I've made them happy. And now I can just see it's so amazing to just wake up in the morning and drink coffee and I'm good. I don't have to do anything.
And so much of this is, you know, we say that we're human beings, but in reality, we've been taught all our lives to do. We're not human doings, but we do in order to have. And when you learn that the way that you're being, if you're being love and compassion and peace, it makes such a difference. And we talk about the science, you know, for some people, they might go, oh my gosh, that's just woo woo. But what's really cool about what we do is everything that we teach is backed by science so that you can see and measure how you're being in a moment. And one of the things that we talk about quite a bit is a lot of people will show up, we call it a baseline. A lot of people will show up with a baseline of anger or baseline of anxiety. And throughout the program, the practice of what Jan was talking about of doing 30 minutes a day, 15 minutes, 2 sessions, 15 minutes, or 3 sessions, 10 minutes, you're literally shifting that baseline from anger or anxiety to peace or calm. And the cool thing about it is that baseline is shifting from the inside out. You're shifting the nervous system. And so, Jan, when you talk about, I don't have to do anymore, I can just be, and I can drink my coffee and I can be, and then you're affecting the people that are around you. You're affecting your family. And so just really beautiful job of shifting your baseline. What would you say your baseline is today?
That's a good question. Certainly not anger. It would be peace. For the most part, I'm peaceful and full of gratitude and joy. Just I don't wake up anxious and I don't wake up mad. I
Wow.
wake up peaceful.
Beautiful. You know, something that you shared with me right before we started this interview is Jan actually is renting out her house. They have an RV. They've traveled all over the United States for the past couple months. And you just decided when you came back how much you thought you were going to love your house. And I thought it was so neat when you said, you know what, the house is too spacious now. We liked being on top of each other in an RV. I mean, a family of 4 liking to be on top of each other in an RV, there's got to be a lot of peace in there to have you want to be on top of each other again and make that commitment to rent your house out for another year and get back in the RV and travel again. So that really says a lot for who you are as a mom and as a wife, moving from anger and anxiety to peace and calm, because you're holding that. You're holding that tone for the family in this RV.
Yes.
That's really beautiful. So, Jan, if you were to explain this to a friend, explain what you went through, what would be the best way to explain what you went through?
I would begin with my life has been transformed. I'm peaceful. And so I learned how important my subconscious is and how important breathing is, and my nervous system, and how the nervous system affects everything, not just your emotions, but your health, how it's helped me to be a healthier person, physically, emotionally, spiritually, how it's made me gracious towards myself and my family, just a kinder, gentler me, walking through life with wonder and joy. And who doesn't want that? Those are things I always wanted, and didn't know how to do it. And it was all here, just needed to be brought out.
So beautiful. Jen, how are you going to use this moving forward?
Oh goodness, I'm going to use everything. My girls, I have my girls doing affirmations now. They do affirmations at night before bed. And breathing. We all breathe. Sometimes before we travel, we all set an intention for our day of travel and work together as a family, a peaceful family, because moving days can be stressful. So we use it every day throughout the day, and not just me, but my entire family.
So beautiful. It's you give the gift to yourself first, and then once you have that gift, you share that gift with your loved ones. You share it with the people that you work with. I remember a time that you shared you had a student who was having a meltdown, and you practiced the technique and didn't have to say a word to this young student, and you saw this person shift in front of you and become calm. And that's the beauty of it, is you didn't have to do anything. You became love, you became peace, you became calm, and it helped this little boy to become calm as well.
Yes.
So such a gift. And Jan, you are such a pleasure to work with. I just have so enjoyed you watching your transformation and watching you show up in a completely different way. And
Yeah.
all the goals that you had stated at the very beginning, you got all of them.
Yeah.
100%. You check
Thank
mark, check mark, check mark, check mark. So
I remember you telling me at the beginning after I did my goals, you said, I want you to know you will do this. You can do this. I have seen this happen. And I held on to that as well. So
yeah,
thank you for all of it.
yes, you're welcome. And one of the things that we say, if anybody's listening to this and saying, how do I learn more? We'll put a link down below to learn more. And the key is that you have to go through an interview process, because what we desire more than anything is that if people come into the program, we have to know that we can get them what they're looking for. And Jan, when we had that conversation, it's a strategy call. We looked at where you are, where you chose to go. And I said, if I can help you get there, I'm going to show you how. If I can't, I'll show you another way. And I knew that these were the goals that you chose. I'm like, we can get you there, but you have to be committed and you have to be coachable. And you were those things. You did the work. It paid off. Your life is different in so many ways. And your family is reaping the benefits, and those that are around you are reaping the benefits. So just such a pleasure to work with you and see you so committed to yourself and your family and to having a beautiful life. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
You, Julie.